Can you see my Crocs in the video or no?
Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Angie y bienvenidos a un nuevo video. Well, today is a really special video because I'm with Christine and she's my host mom. If you doesn't know her, she's gonna reply some questions that you made on Instagram, so we're gonna start.
Hey!
How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm excited.
Me too. I'm kind of nervous because it's the first video that I'm doing speaking in English. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. It'll be great.
Okay, great. Let's see. Let's start. First question is, what do you think is the most important thing when you are looking a profile of an au pair?
Well, I think making sure that they are talking about and show pictures of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because as much as it's about like the experience of obviously being in the United States, a huge part of it for us, if not one of the main parts, is that like the au pair loves the kids or loves being around kids. Loves being around kids, has experience with kids, you know, just feels like they want to be in a family with
kids.
It seems obvious, but I think that you don't necessarily always see that.
That's true. What things you don't like about an au pair? Like, what do you think it could be red flags in a profile or when you have interviews with them?
I mean, for me, this might change for other people, but I think if the au pair is really focused in the profile on like, I don't know, wanting to go out or like upset that they don't have access to a car or something, when like, I think you, or at least from my perspective, I would want my au pair to trust that I'm going to make sure they have a great experience and like give you the tools you need to go the places you want to go.
Yeah, okay.
It won't always be maybe what you expect. And that like it is a job. So there will be fun parts, but there's also parts where you have to work.
Yeah, like you have to be your responsibility.
Yeah, so you have to be responsible. And I think you can see sometimes if someone just wants to come to the United States because they want to
travel
or whatever, like there will be that, but there's also...
Yeah, and actually that's so important because I remember when I was at the beginning of the program, because a lot of people and also the agency is like, they sell you the program more than an exchange and not that much as work, but it's actually like half and half, like you have to work and also you are going to have experience.
Totally.
But yeah, that's true. Like a lot of my friends, actually even my friends, they are like, no, but it's easy, you know, like you just go and take care of kids, but it's not easy. No, it's not easy.
It's hard work taking care of kids. And like, but you love it because I would think that's what you want to do, being an au pair, like you know that you like hanging out with kids, and that's why you
that's so important. That you really have to love kids because you're gonna spend the most of the time with them. So and I think shoot, I was gonna say something I just forgot. I just think it's I was gonna say that it's funny that you say that.
What, you didn't press record?
No, I didn't. I didn't connect the microphone.
That's one of the things, like you just said about the agency is like, it's funny if the agency says that to the au pair, but the agency definitely says to the family that like they do these things, like you can have them do all of this, and like so it's obviously different.
It's different. That's true.
But that's why I think it's just really good when you have a conversation with a host family to get like really clear on what their expectations are. Yeah,
that's true. Like you have to be sure about what your host family is expecting from you and what are you gonna expect from them.
Totally.
So everyone is happy.
Yes, I completely agree.
How do you feel about live with a person that you don't know? I mean, until they came.
They come,
They come.
I feel like that's like the number one biggest thing.
Right.
Like when I talk to other families and I tell them how much I love having an au pair, they are like, oh, I could never have someone live in my house. And I guess I probably would have felt that way once upon a time too, or I think we did, but like, I mean, it's obviously different for different homes and different families, but I think that like, they have their own space, you know, it's not like your au pair is like sharing your bedroom with you. And it's, you know, they kind of have their own like place to retreat to, which is really important. I think also like, sure, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but then you get used to it and it's fine.
We're here.
The same way that, you know, you had to get used to having your kids in your house.
That's true.
It's, I don't know, I just don't think it's as big of a deal as a lot of people think it is. But, you know, I think the number one thing for me is like making sure that we're finding an au pair that's like respectful of the house, you know, because that's really important. At least to me. And I think that, you know, if they aren't, then like that would be a problem, you know, but
But it's not this.
Yeah, it's nice.
She says, I'm 19 years old. Do you think that's a good age to look for host families?
I feel like that's pretty young, just being honest. Because I just think about what I was like at 19.
What did you do?
Nothing bad. It's just like I had no idea how to do like anything on my own. But you know, I bet that there are families, host families that are more, especially probably if they're experienced.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like they've had a lot of au pairs. They would probably be a little bit more accommodating to a younger au pair.
I think that one of the facts of that is because here you are like you are like an adult when you're 21.
Sure.
So I think that's also like influence a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think here, at least in the United States, for most people, they're in college or in university between 18 and 22. So like, they're somewhere else doing all their stupid things that they want to do, and they're like figuring out how to live in an apartment or live by themselves or figure out all that stuff. You know, like they're not with another family. But I don't know, there's a lot of really mature 18 and 19 year olds.
Yeah, that's
20,
true.
you know, like there are a lot of mature people out there. I'm not trying to make a blanket statement. So I don't know, I think if I were faced with like an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old who wanted to like talk with us, I would just want to do like a lot of interviews.
Yeah, sure. Like to be sure that she's mature.
Yes, mature. Yeah, exactly.
She says, I don't think my English is as good as the host family is looking, but I don't know how to deal with that. Like she's kind of like scared with the interviews because she feels that the host family are looking for a like perfect English or something. So
then I guess I would say that's probably not the right family for her.
I
mean, if they want perfect English and you don't have that, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
There's nothing you can do. I mean, it would be one thing if they spoke. I assume she speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
If they spoke a little bit of Spanish, and therefore you could try to figure it out. But no, I think if you the host family needs to be understanding of where the au pair is at in their understanding of English.
For you, how much important is a good English? Like,
I mean, I wouldn't say it's the most important thing. Like with Spanish speaking, because I could figure it out if I knew.
She knows this.
I studied Spanish. I
studied
Spanish. Yeah, so I can figure it out if I needed to. But if I had an au pair who was like German, didn't speak good English, I would have a really hard time. So like, I think that there's that part of it. Like Spanish, I feel a little bit more comfortable with, but I don't even know, like French, German, anything else, it would be hard. But I don't know. If you find the right person, sometimes, you know, like we talk about how you just kind of meet someone and you feel like it's the right fit.
Yeah, that's true.
That could happen too.
Yeah. This one is a good one. What do you think about the change about the stipend of the state? Like
in Massachusetts?
I'm sure she doesn't know that I'm in Massachusetts, so here is like we know about that.
Yeah.
But I think she want to know, how do you feel? Like,
how do I feel about it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's the right thing to do because...
That's true.
I know.
I'm so glad that I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a loaded question. Massachusetts is a very liberal state in a lot of its rules. It is working towards giving, I think, more kind of rights, if that's the right term, for kind of the more working class, or at least that's kind of the trend of Massachusetts. So they were the first state in the U.S. to overrule like the federal stipend, so that you have to pay your au pairs an hourly minimum wage, which is set by the state. So I like that because I know how hard it is to take care of kids.
Yeah.
So like I would want to pay someone fairly for that difficult work. With that said, an au pair, because they're living with you and like they're with you all the time, there are other benefits which I think make it, that's why it is such a cost-effective option, because other forms of childcare here are incredibly expensive. So like it's kind of the best of both worlds. So anyways, I'm for it. Like, let's say we didn't have it here and I lived in a different state, I think I would be inclined to pay my au pair a different, a higher stipend than what we would. Yeah. I know that's probably not the case throughout the country. But it's interesting because it's made Massachusetts a less attractive, or it's made the au pair program a less attractive option for Massachusetts families. Yeah. Because they have to pay more. Because you still have to pay the agency fee.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They usually there's like a discount for Massachusetts families, but like, so a lot of families are like, oh my God, it's, so much more expensive here than it would be if I lived in Idaho. But like, if you compare an au pair to daycare or a nanny in Massachusetts, it's cheaper. So like, I don't know why some Massachusetts families, I think, have a hard time with that, but.
How do you decide to have an au pair?
Well, it was a few factors. We had someone living with us when the twins were born.
That's right.
Just at the beginning for about 2 months. Like a night nurse, a nanny. I don't know what you call it, a baby nurse. So she lived with us full time. And once that was our first time having someone live in our house. And when we were like, oh, this isn't as crazy as we thought. Yeah. We got used to it and we were like, oh, this would be amazing. And we started looking into an au pair then, but didn't think it was the right thing for when the twins were really, really young. And then we revisited it like a year later when we had to, and because of the age of the kids, the fact that we do have a big enough house, the fact that we are in Massachusetts, in Boston, where childcare is really expensive, just kind of all of these different factors made an au pair make sense. Plus, we really liked the idea of having, like, being able to share our culture with someone and have, like, another young person in the family.
Yeah, she's young, too.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I like to talk about cool stuff or whatever,
yeah,
so
right. I mean, talk about Selena and Haley.
Yeah, right. So, I just felt like it just made sense.
Looking about the culture, she was in Ecuador for a few months.
Yes.
So I think that's a really cool experience that you had that.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about some things from Ecuador, and that's cool because I'm from there.
Right.
I'm from there.
Yeah.
And so I think that's also like helps to like, how it's being like you was living in another house.
I had a similar experience.
So you like.
Totally. Yes. And that kind of goes back to me to why I wouldn't want a 19-year-old or something like.
She was 20 when she was in Ecuador.
I was 20. Yeah, I was 20. But I just think back and I'm like, oh my God, I was so stupid. Like, you're much more mature, I feel like, than I was then.
Thank you.
Maybe I'm just, I don't know. But, yeah, no, I think it's really cool to be able to, like, look at it. Yeah.
what kind of relationship you can have with a host mom who is 35, and because we just have 10 years of difference. I suppose she's 25, and yeah, she says that, like...
I mean, I feel like it could be whatever you want it to be. Like, what if, like, some 35-year-olds can be, like, really old. They can act
like, oh,
like
yeah.
they're 45.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. So I think it probably depends on, like, the age or, like, the vibe of the mom.
You're a cool mom.
I don't know. I saw a TikTok recently. It was like an au pair who was like 23, and the host mom was 24.
I mean, they are from Brazil?
I didn't really look at it in depth, but probably.
I saw that and I was like, wow. And the host mom was on a bird too.
Oh, she was?
Yeah. So
yeah, so like that could happen. That's not that crazy.
What do you think is like the best things to do in your first days?
Well, I guess if you're coming from out of country, because you didn't come from out of country, so I don't totally know. I assume you have to like get a bank account and go get your social security card. I mean, you tell me. I think it's helpful to like show you around the neighborhood, like go on some walks so that you can see. I guess I don't know. A lot of people might live in the suburbs, but if you live in the city, like
go around,
show what's around. How to use public transit, at least in some capacity if you're close to that. And then I guess like I would spend some time like obviously doing the shadowing where you like learn what the family's doing.
Showing everything.
But then giving a lot of time to like for you to set up your room and get comfortable and like make.
Because I remember when I was with my first host family, and I know a lot of my friends also happened that to them, that the first day you are just like so like you don't know what to like, you're like I don't know if she'll like go out of my room or like you know that kind of stuff.
Oh, totally,
so you're
yeah.
just like, and you're also so shy about like I don't know, just like
using the house.
To use in the house, you know, like if you're hungry or you want something, you're like, oh.
Should I even go downstairs?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend to just do it.
Yeah, right.
Because the family expects you to like
eat.
They're not wanting you to stay in your room, you know, but they obviously, I don't think, want to bother you in case you want some privacy, but like, I wouldn't be afraid to go downstairs to like, or go into the kitchen, wherever that is. You know, make yourself some stuff, get to know the kitchen, like, make sure there's food that you want, because you could probably look in the fridge and be like, oh my god, I don't have anything that I want to eat. Yeah, all that. I can totally relate to that, though. I can imagine. But I think you gotta, like, face your fear. I would never, like, go up and try to, like, sit in your room with you while you just got here to, like, talk to you. You know, I would definitely wait for the au pair to come to the common areas so we can hang out and chat or whatever, but I'm not gonna like interrogate you in your room. So.
Will you choose an au pair pro? It's like, do you know that there is like two like kind of au pairs that, I mean, like if you're like a teacher, you can be like an au pair pro or something like that.
Like a advanced.
Yeah, like an advanced. Yeah.
No, I had no idea.
You don't know? Okay.
I didn't even know that existed.
Okay, but if you know, like
now that
you
I
will
know
be
that.
like, oh, I prefer that, or
no, I don't think I really care.
You don't really care.
I think it's more about the person.
Yeah.
Like if I found one of those who seems
like.
great, then maybe, but I don't. No.
Yeah. Will you choose a bro pair?
I don't know.
How do you feel about it?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I bet that there are some great guy. Like it's like having a male nanny. Like there's nothing wrong with it at all. I think, and I'm sure they have like a lot of energy. Like imagine a guy with the boys. He would be able to like run around with them. I just guess like I never thought about it that much because like they are almost all women.
Yeah, most of them are.
But definitely, like if I found someone and it was a man and they were the right fit, I think I would totally be into it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
She said that she saw our video on TikTok. Remember the one that we made?
Which one? About the words?
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's like I like that relationship, and I would like to have that with my husband. Like, what are some tips that you can give her? Like,
I don't know. It depends on the person. It just depends on the mom. You know, like, what if the mom's not cool?
I'm cool. She's like, I'm cool, but I don't know.
I mean, she might not be cool. I could see a host mom. I guess it's to find things that you have in common. I don't know, like clothes, shopping, like Instagram, just talking about stuff. Like, just figure out, like, hopefully there's some things that you have in common. I mean, if not, then, like, I don't think that that's a bad thing, but you might not have as close of a relationship.
Yeah, how do you know that I was, like, the right fit?
It's such a vibe thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's
like,
so hard to describe.
So,
you know, I am very much just like a gut person, so like I really try to go with my gut. And sometimes it's not right, but sometimes it is. I feel like it usually is. And I just felt like I also try not to overthink things. So like I just, you know, if it kind of like, if I meet someone and I like them and I get a good feeling, and then, you know, it was really important for me with you to like lay out what my expectations were. And I really liked that after I shared that with you, you came back and you had clearly read the things that I had said and like had digested it. So like that was a good sign to me of that stuff. So like you like understood what was being asked of you. And then I just felt like it was just, the energy was good. And I know that's so hard to explain, but
yeah, I know. Weird.
Yeah, some people don't
understand that, and it's like, it's just a vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe.
She says that I don't know how to like ask for my benefits because she doesn't want to sound interested. They are often in the car. She wants to know if they are gonna like pay for the gas or something, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well,
like,
she just has to ask.
What do you feel?
Yeah,
that's another thing that the cultures are so different. So for you, it's just like, just ask. Right. But for us, it's like, no, I don't want them to think that I'm just thinking about that. So that's like, what do you think?
I guess that's like, true. I mean, like, I could see where you're coming from, that like someone could think like, oh God, she's just, you know, just wants to use the car. But
that's true.
But the reality is that like you've been allocated the car. You know, like you just need to ask, like I want to use the car. Like, am I responsible for the gas, or is that part of the car? There's not usually, people aren't usually gonna think like some negative subtext of those types of questions. Like, that's not the way that people think. I mean, maybe some people do, but like I don't. But I certainly don't. No. I think a lot of people, like, that's where you get into like miscommunications and misunderstandings is by assuming something or just like not asking and then getting yourself into something and then all of a sudden your host family's upset with you because I don't know, they said you needed to pay for gas and you didn't or whatever. And you would just be better off clarifying.
She says that she feels homesick, but she doesn't know like if she wants to tell them to the host family. Because she doesn't know if like she can tell them like the feelings, because like she's supposed to be like the like a responsible person. Like she associates that about like, oh, I'm not like gonna share like my problems or feelings. I don't know.
Well, I guess this is my opinion. I assume there's probably other people out there who maybe don't feel this way, but I would hope that most do. Like, your au pair is still a human being.
That's an important point. That is actually that's something that I love about you. And that like you are conscious about like we're not just someone to pay. Like, I don't know, like less or something.
Anyone, I mean, it's like crazy that people think that, but you're still a human who has feelings, and like I try to be really empathetic of how I would feel if I were.
You are such an empathetic person. That's true. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have been crying like a lot of times.
Yes.
I have cried with her a lot of times.
I mean, but it's so normal, and it's so like, it's totally expected. You know, like if I were away from home for a year, I would definitely be homesick at certain points. And so like, I would share that with your host family. And it's okay to share it with them and be like, I'm not saying I want to go home. I'm not saying I need to leave. I'm not saying I need to take a break from work. I'm just sharing this with you because this is how I'm feeling right now. Yeah. And I'm a little distracted because I feel sad. And the host mom or host dad might be like, okay. You know, they might be really nervous. They might have no idea. Or they might try to make you feel better or whatever. But like, I think it's probably best to tell them. You know, if you're worried that they're going to think something, you can preface it by saying like, I'm not trying to leave. I'm not trying to go back to my home country. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just sharing.
But I'm just sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good advice.
Yeah. Probably most people are understanding of that because we are all human too. I'm sure there's probably some really nasty people out there, but I would like to believe that more often than not people are good. Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I can talk with you about everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's because that you're a sensitive person, and also me. And all the times that I have like been open with you, you're so empathetic. Yeah. It's really like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm with,
comforting.
Yeah, that's the word. I feel so confident talking about that, like about anything with you.
Yeah.
Because you're not like a judging person.
Right. Yeah.
So that's really good, like
to
have that in your house. So
I'm sure that, I mean, I would like to assume that probably people who want to bring someone in to their house from another country have some level of that too, because you know they're open to experiencing other cultures and bringing people into their house, so they probably have some level of not judgment, non-judgment, right? So we can always do a part 2.
Oh,
think about that. If people
respond
and they have more questions, we can do a part 2.
Check it. That's great. It was so fun to have this with you. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any more questions, you can just leave on the comments, and we'll see you maybe in another video. Bye.